Hello everybody and welcome back, where today we're talking about an upcoming PSVR2 game which is actually out on Steam and Quest, and I've been playing it for the last couple of days. It's been really hot here in the UK at the time of recording, so I haven't had time to put in numerous hours, but I have got around 2 hours of playtime in Blacktop Hoops, and it's meaning to be the first basketball game to come over to PSVR2 in the near future, hopefully. And the gameplay experience, I'm assuming, will be exactly the same as it is on PC for balancing purposes, because this game does have an offline component, but a lot of the fun comes from online. So, without further ado, let's talk about Blacktop Hoops. The footage you're going to see in this video is a mix between the beta and the creator build, which is the full build of the game. If the menus look a little different or any of the gameplay looks a little different, the fundamentals are the same, but the coat of paint might look a bit different between the two, so that is why. Now, I'm not good at basketball in real life. I have played a little bit, and that does translate to me not being very good in VR, but the game itself, I don't have that much to say about aside from praise, to be honest, in almost every single aspect that it tries to go for. But let's start where we usually start first and foremost, which is the visual presentation. Visually, it looks very, very sharp. I'm running on PC at max settings, which is an absolute breeze because this game is also designed for Quest, so I'm assuming the PSVR 2 will look just as sharp. Texture-wise, there are some limitations, obviously, because Quest, but overall they use the art style to the advantage of the game of making it look really good, and I'm assuming this will run with no reprojection when it makes its way over to the PSVR 2 platform. I was playing on the DPVR E4, which is a DisplayPort headset which uses the same panel as the Quest 2, and I found that the game looked pretty great in all respects, and I ran into no technical hitches. Right off the bat, the game introduces you in the perfect way, setting the tone exactly how you'd sort of want it. Very vibey music, easy to understand tutorials which teaches you how the game works, and was surprisingly quick to grasp onto for somebody like me who is not the best at sports like this. If you're playing offline, you'll essentially be put in 1v1 situations where you've got to block an opponent trying to dunk on you, or vice versa. You can perform all of the moves that you'd expect you can perform in street basketball, and there are various buttons to jump, to dunk, to throw, to hold the ball with both hands and stabilize, to dribble as you go along, and to switch hands as you dribble, and you can do a bunch of different moves. And to be honest, Blacktop Hoops makes dribbling easier than I found it to be in real life, to be honest. I was pretty bad in real life, but the ball is kind of attached to you in this game. You kind of just have to mimic the movement of dribbling it as you walk forward, and the game will do most of the work for you. I did find it a little bit difficult to switch between hands at the start, and I'm sure you can see that in some of the footage, but after a little while it becomes second nature at what angle and what force you should be throwing the ball down to catch it in your other hand and continue dribbling. Once you've dribbled up to the hoop and you're ready to take your shot, you hold down the front trigger with your dominant hand and bring it up to throw. You can use your left hand or your right hand depending on which is your non-dominant to support by bringing it up to the side of the ball, and there's also a button on the controller you can hit to do a little jump or a big jump depending on how high you want to jump as you make your shot. The game also tracks your player height, but not in the way of adjusting your height for other players to see, but in terms of tracking if you jump or not. So you can physically jump and throw the ball if you want to, but the one time that I did try this, it ended up with me smashing into my desk. So I'm not sure if I would recommend doing that in a smaller space, but it is an option which is very, very cool of getting yourself immersed. Now, you can play single player completely if you want to. You'll be put into 1v1s, as I said earlier. You can choose what AI you want to go up against and what difficulty you want that AI on. I'd say it's a little bit more fun attacking the AI than defending, because when they attack, they seemingly have like mo-capped or preset animations that they go through, which can make it a bit repetitive and a little bit weird in terms of movement of where they're going. But when you're attacking and they're defending, it genuinely is a lot of fun, and the AI can be quite challenging, and it is also very fun to smack them on the head whenever they take the ball off you. The biggest feature for single player that they've added since moving from the beta to the full build is the campaign. Now, this is fully voice acted and animated stuff. There are proper like VR cutscenes here where you start on, smaller courts and you make your way through all the locations in the game, fighting different characters on the court and making your way up to bigger and better heights. This is a really cool mode. I didn't expect it to be fully voice acted and seemingly mo-capped or animated, and you can play through it at different difficulties like all the other modes in the game. So there's a fair bit of replay value here if you want to challenge yourself more and more. And it just gives a bit of progression to the players who want something out of the single player more than the multiplayer, which I completely understand. There's also a practice mode where you can play at your will with nobody else on the court, practicing your shots, or your dribbling and your moves, which is always appreciated. And if you want to jump into multiplayer, which I did a couple times, you'll find that everybody is much better than you, but also it is a lot of fun having more than one person on the court and having multiplayer battles, which I don't think was a thing until a fair few months ago when the game launched into its first iteration. I think it was offline only, but it's good to see online multiplayer being a proper thing here. And if you want to, you can jump in and play either competitive or casual. So you can get a rank if you really want to, or you can jump into a casual lobby and just play basketball with people for a little while, which I did. And it also does include microphone on voice channels, so you can get screamed at by Quest kids as you play the game. However, the multiplayer does work really well, and I'd say I spent about half my time there. Finally, I'll touch on customization a little bit because there is a lot here and it's done really well. Besides choosing what character you want, you can choose your outfit from your shoes, your shorts, your shirt, or your headwear if you want one. And to unlock more, you can either purchase them using credits, which are in the game, or you can just complete goals and objectives to unlock the clothes that you want. Say there'll be a pair of shoes that you really want. It could be that you have to complete 17 dunks to get those shoes, and once you do, they're gifted to you. So it's a really good system of either providing the monetization route where somebody can go and pay real money for the currency in game, or you can just play the game and unlock these cosmetics as you go depending on which one you want, which is always appreciated. So a thumbs up there. Ultimately, I'm really a fan of Blacktop Hoops after my little play session in it. These are only my first impressions, so of course they could change by the time the PSVR2 version comes around, but they're onto something really strong here, and the game feels pretty much finished at this point, which is good before it goes out, I think, tomorrow. The population online also seems to be very strong, at least at the moment, so I'd comfortably recommend it for multiplayer as well. Anyway, thank you all for watching. Thank you to the Blacktop Hoops devs for sending over a code for the game. Thank you to our patrons Luke Bentley, Phil Irving, Haseet Mirza, Ace Gamer, and Hippie Pickle, and thank you to our YouTube member, Jin007, a license to chill. If you want to join the Patreon or YouTube membership or the Discord, the links are all below. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.